My story begins at Taquero, the Mexican restaurant that's just around the way. I was meeting a man that I had found on OkCupid. It was 2 years after my divorce and about 2.5 years after I opened my OkCupid account. He was brilliant, he was warm, he was funny. I was looking forward to a good evening. We met, he discussed our plans. We were going to see the Doctor Strange movie. And he ordered a margarita so that he could loosen up. He goes, "Tell me about yourself." I say, "I'm divorced. I'm looking for love. I'm a content writer." He goes, "I'm an alcoholic." I'm thinking, this is the kind of thing that I would say to break the ice, as a joke. I'm Jewish. And he drinks, and we get on his scooter, and I'm excited because I had weight loss surgery 2 years ago. So the fact that a man was willing to put me on his scooter was the only thing that was on my mind, not should this man be driving after he's just consumed a margarita. So we go to the movie, and then we walk from Rav Hin to his apartment, and it's at this point in time that he tells me, "I'm bisexual." And I'm like, "That's cool." And then he goes, "Except I haven't been with a woman since I was divorced 10 years ago. It is no longer a date, it is a mission." My vagina could change the course of history. And it did. But that is the story for another day. In the morning, he wakes up. He suggests that we go for a walk along the beach. I agree. We stop. We go to the first liquor store that we pass on the beach, and he goes, "I just need a beer to calm my nerves." And I'm like, first vagina in a decade, I can understand that. My vagina has that effect on people. And we're walking and talking, and I'm having a great time till we get to the second liquor store. And he gets a beer. This one is to wash down the other beer because it's lonely. And we keep walking. And he says, "We should take the long way." And I'm like, "Oh, that's very nice." And we walk, and we're walking, and we walk for 30 minutes till we hit the third liquor store. And then he turns to me and he says, "I didn't lie. I am an alcoholic." And at this point, I realized that my vagina may not be getting any extra outings for the rest of this afternoon. And we go back to his apartment, where he takes a nap. And then when he wakes up, he says we should go to lunch, which I'm, at this point, completely neutral about. This is why we need public transportation on a Saturday in Tel Aviv. So we go to the restaurant, and we're muddling through at this point. He orders a margarita. And he gets a call from his son saying that he needs to pick something up at his apartment. And so he goes, "Hey, if you don't mind, we're going to go back to my apartment. I'm going to meet him there, and then we can continue on with the rest of the afternoon." And I'm like, "That's cool." At this point, I'm just like, whatever. As long as I'm going to end up alive at the end of it, I'm going to count that a win. We get to the apartment, and his ex-wife and his son are already in the apartment. I'm like, "Oh, that's very enlightened." And so I say hi to the ex-wife, and she says hi to me. It's all very, mature, sophisticated. And then when his son had retrieved whatever it was that he came for, they both left. My date turns to me and says, I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, you weren't ready for what? He's like, for you to meet my ex-wife. And I'm like, why did you bring me home to your ex-wife? And he's like, oh, I didn't know she'd be there. You let her into your apartment? I'm like, I never thought the boundary issues would make me more upset than the alcohol. So at this point, I decided I was done. And I called up the 28-year-old that I keep on tap for situations like this. And I walked to his apartment and I said, it's time to get drunk. Pass the Courvoisier.